chopping up samples in MPC3 on the MPC Live 2. Use a couple plugins, do a little bit of mixing, see what we get. What's going on, guys? It's your brother O.T.G. The O.T.G's for Overtime Grind. Hardly seen, but I'm always around. And today I'm on the MPC Live 2 with MPC 3 on it. I've had it for a while, you know. I've been doing my thing. I've been trying to get used to the whole way we got to do tracks and different stuff like that. It's been a while, and I said, man, let me just come check out YouTube, check out my good people at Gumroad, drop them a video so they can see what I've been up to. So I got the Snoop Dogg Let's Get Blown stems. I have the full video. I might put that up on Gumroad. You could go check that out. Link in the description. I might put that up there so you can see how I chopped it up. You know, what I did to get the sample to sound a certain kind of way, using the multi-band filter bank, doing some stuff like that. But we're here right now. So right now, I already chopped up the sample. That's where we started at, is me chopping up the sample. Right now, I'm just laying drums down. It's at 104.17. I always tell you guys about leaving the small numbers. I tap the tempo in when I'm chopping up the sample. I always tell you about leaving the small numbers because that's what differentiates your beat a little bit and kind of gives it that groove sometimes that you guys are looking for when you're trying to add it with swing. You know, but that's for another day. Right now, what I'm doing is doubling out. I'm just playing the drums. I doubled it out to 8 bars. So I doubled out the sequence to 8, you know what I mean? So that way I can lay down my sample in the traditional 3 times repetitive and then on the 4th time change, so that way we can come around in the loop, you know what I mean? If you don't know that structure, I just put you on game. So now I'm going to go find the 808. I think I'm going to use Sub Factory. We're going to just use a stop patch. I like to clean dirty. You know, I like to utilize the samples. I like to get going. So sorry about the screen. I moved some stuff around. The lighting's a little different. I just like to get going, man. So I have some presets that I know when I'm going to use 808s or I hear a certain kind of sound in my mind, I already know what I'm going to use. And then from there, we'll just mold it using the EQ, maybe some filters or some things like that, you know. We'll go from there on the effects, but I don't spend a lot of time going through presets. I find a couple good ones, and then I build them from there. That's my secret. So right now I have this in an A natural minor. So I switched over to notes mode to play my bass, you know what I mean? Make sure you like, share, subscribe, comment. There's a lot going on in the world, man. Just make sure you keep making beats. Stay focused. The music business is changing. It's a good time to be a producer and be able to do things. So make sure you invest in yourself, keep being consistent, keep making these beats, keep learning your machine. You know what I mean? And get your 1-2 up. Don't think about, Not everything is as cut and dry as you think. So, don't spend a bunch of time letting people on the internet tell you if your shit's hot or it's not hot, running your shit past producers. Take that music outside, find you somebody, put it in their hands, and start working the music the old-fashioned way. It's a lot of money out here when you deal with people hand to hand. If you're dealing with people over the internet, you're going to have some issues. You know what I mean? If you're going to take a loss, you might as well just deal with somebody in your hometown for free. And then at least people will see you together. They'll see your climb. They'll hear the music. They'll know who you are and who they are. They'll put two and two together. So if it ever goes funny, can't hide the work. You get what I mean? But again, conversation for another day. Now we got Sub Factory. Right now I'm messing with the level. A lot of times you can feel it. And I'm making this beat. I have it plugged into the routed through the computer, but I'm actually making this beat on my end by listening to it through the Live 2 speakers. So you can always remember, depending on your listening environment, the bass is going to sound one way. You can make it really pound. And when you add your kick, you can put your kick in there too. A lot of you guys spend so much time trying to mix everything so early that you might mess up a good feel or something that's pretty cool. Cause like this beat right here, I probably wouldn't rap to it. But, people was around and they was rapping, you know what I mean? And a lot of times that's how I test the beats. You get what I'm saying? Just play them in the mixture of other beats and the people could start rapping to them, freestyle to them, do anything with them. They start tapping their foot. Then, we in the game. Right now, I don't have the full level on, so I'm easing on and off the pad to try to give the hi-hats the velocity feel, so they kind of fade in and fade out, fade in, fade out, and kind of fill in the blanks. I'm a person who likes to hold the no repeat button. You know what I mean? I don't like to just have it stuck on the screen. I like to hold it and let it go sometimes. So, when I teach my classes, I teach everybody about just, I guess, the ergonomics and hand position. You can see where my left hand is handling all of the pads and handling the volume and the pad bank and all of that stuff. And my right hand is handling the cue links, the screen, and the knobs underneath. I see some funky hand placements on a lot of these videos. Sometimes I think people overlook the basics. It's one thing to kind of remember is your hand placement. The better your hand placement, the longer you'll go. You get what I'm saying? And the faster you'll move through utilizing your MPC, because you're utilizing it two hands and your brain at the same time. And it should be easy, as much as people utilize their phones, to think about holding your phone and doing one thing with your left thumb and the other with your right thumb and just being more efficient. But, if you've never had an iPad, never had a handheld or anything of that nature, maybe you don't know. Right now I'm in the most important screen on the MPC, which is the track edit. We're on the track edit of the drum kit. It makes more sense to do a lot of your mixing here front instead of the pad mix. Again, it's just efficiency things. That's what makes this screen the most important. Plus, every pad has 10 effects on it and the pad effects. probably add one more sound, because it's only like 4 tracks. It's a sample, it's the bass, it's the drums. You know what I mean? So I'll probably add one little sound to kind of differentiate different parts of the beat. Some strings or something we'll use, like Solina. Right now you're hearing the OPX4. I definitely am a believer in the MPC plugins. I come from the MPC times where you just had what you had on your MPC. So just the fact that you can have an MPC with all the sounds on it and never be hooked to the computer is amazing to me. You know, so I cop everything because I do everything standalone. You know, part of me grabbing the MPCs and investing back in hardware was to go back detached from the computer. You know what I mean? After years of having both or having one and having the other, now in a hybrid type of situation, it's better just to make everything on your hardware, get a great mix on it, then bounce it down that way, bring it in. You're going to mix it again if you're going to stem it out, so you just get a good feel-good mix. That's what we're going to do today. You get a real nice feel-good mix on it. You know, you can leave yourself some open spots, because you know that when you get it on the computer or when you get it in Ableton or Pro Tools, once you get in that environment, you know, especially if you're going to place vocals or do anything else on it, you know, you can always come back in and layer up or play something else or add to it. It's part of being a producer, you know what I mean? You don't always have to overproduce. So a lot of the stuff that I might do in my MPC or on the hardware to the world might be underproduced, but you have to think it's always getting stemmed out and going into Ableton and turning into something. It morphs into something. And again, I'm an efficiency type person. I do this every day. And the only way you're going to be O.T.G and overtime grind and get a lot of shit done is to adapt efficiency workflows that don't slow you down. You know what I mean? So I rarely try to stop the music when I'm creating. I rarely try to do a lot of mixing early. And predominantly, most of this video is going to be mixing. You know, we got to get to that aspect. You know, just using the EQs and things of that nature. But most of the time, I go right to the second beat. I utilize, especially if I'm utilizing the one sequence workflow, which I have found for MPC3. It takes an extra step, but it's okay. Make sure you're using your old plugins too. You know, when you get the new plugins, you'll start focusing so much on them and you'll think the old ones are old. No, they still do the job. They're for a reason. So like Solina is a great plugin. Just because it was one of the first plugins that we have doesn't make it trash. It just makes it one of the first plugins that we have. You know, that's a whole nother thought process about making beats. Constantly getting new gear. Get new gear, you think your old gear's trash. You know, get new gear, and 2 weeks you decide if you like some new shit or if you want to go back to the old. All that type of time, you know what I mean? I settle in on what I like. So I like the MK2. I like synths. I like 4-track synths. I love my MPCs. They're the greatest to me in the SP404 MK2. I love the Verse Lab. I like to record in it. I like the OP1. We got the OP1 feel. Yeah, I like my Tracker Mini. I love Reason. About to do some videos in Reason soon for Reason 13, and I like Ableton. So I just stick with what I like, man. I'm not too much in trying to get a bunch of extra shit all the time. I love my J6. You know, my MPCs do the job. I think about getting different MPCs, but you know, Akai at this point can send me a MPC X or something. Outside of that, you know, I don't think I'll ever get one of the bigger ones. I'd love to have one, but I'm just not that kind of producer. It'd be doper if it was gifted. Make sure you house clean, housekeep. It's been a minute since I did a video. I'm just talking while we getting this done, bro. Housekeeping's important, especially if you're doing the one sequence method. I looped this out to 64 bars. You know, and so you want to be able to read what you have. I have it on the vent, not audio. You know, make sure you do. I told you it's just 4 tracks. The MIDI and the other one is the stems. So we only got 4 tracks to worry about. Make sure we arm our automation. And now we gonna run it down. Don't make your intros too long, bro. Sat in a lot of studios. If you haven't looked at some of my other videos, over time I'll slowly start adding more stuff, but I have one of the Beanie Siegel sessions up there. I definitely have like 2 or 3 years of the management talk and the talks of artist management and things of that nature, motivation. You can see I'm a pretty tough manager, talk pretty fly, you know what I mean? You can see me and Tone Trump, we worked a lot of years together, bro. I got so many videos. I gotta put them all out, you know what I mean? I'm glad I waited, because the world is crazy right now. Everybody going to court. You know what I mean? I've been to a lot of events, around a lot of stuff. I always go home, bro. That's why I stay independent. But, you know, different story, different day. Also release a beat tape every day. Yep, that's the title of it, every day. You can look it up, 365 O.T.G. All the music's under that now on all streaming services and on the Vent if you want to support event.biz. Also, if you want to support, you can check out the Gumroad. You know, over there, I've been building out the courses. So now, you know, we're about to get on it for 2025. Got OP1 field videos, rolling SP404 MK2 videos. I got another one. Some PO, KO2 teenage engineering videos on the way. Seek track. I got a bunch of stuff that I gotta upload, but for 2025, we doing it all through Gumroad. Follow me at 365 O.T.G. on Twitter. That's the only place that I communicate. YouTube. All right, so now that we got this together, the next thing that we gotta do is go to the pad mutes for the drums. You know what I mean? Make sure that you arm it. And now you can go through and do your pad mutes for your drums, for your hi-hats. You did your basic on and off. Again, this is one of those efficiency tips. You probably do that first. You get what I'm saying? You do your drums first, the full drum kit, and then you come back around, and then you can do the drums via pad mute. You get what I'm saying? And now we just turning off hi-hats and turning off the snare. And we just gonna let this run through. We letting our beat run through and we doing it in real time. So there is a glitch with MPC3 when you utilize or do things like this and then you bounce the stems. It's a little bit crazy. Sometimes it doesn't bounce all the stems, but I figured they figured that out. You know what I mean? They got their hand on the pulse of what's going on. You know, they got the people that they rock with, the people that they don't, the people that they answer, the people that they don't. And I'm kind of in the people that they don't. So I filled out the little email thing. I sent it to them. But they probably not checking for me too much other gear on the channel. Probably talk too fly. Too rough for them. Too street. Whatever. Now we just waiting. We going through. We still hitting the mutes. We get that together. It's helpful to remember what you just muted to. Some of you guys don't be in tune to the beats. You know, my mind's always in the music. It doesn't matter what I'm doing, even if I'm talking. We talking about random stuff during the videos, long form content. You know, if you subscribe to the channel, it's going to be a lot more of this. Now we're going to run through and tap the volumes one time. When I'm working on the board, I like to touch them all. That's what I say. We gotta touch the faders. You know what I mean? We run through, we touch them all one time. Everything that's got volume coming through, we turn it all down, we touch them. We run through effects, drop EQs, different things on there. We try the different sounds. That's the air channel strip. My screen's a little crazy, but I'm gonna talk you through it. That's the only reason why I'm here right now, you know. For those that don't know, we on box 2 on the Q-Links. So now, I like the EQ, the 4-band EQ. A lot of people cry about wanting what they want, that's cool. You know, you got a right to have your tiers for whatever you like. But I like the 4-band EQ. Always go to the third row first and kind of tweak the knobs and go back to the first row and tweak the frequency. You know what I mean? And kind of set it that way, then go back out, touch the fader again, run through, touch faders, add effects, boost, run back, touch faders. Same as working on a real board. If you notice, I do all this stuff kind of together. Again, this is just my workflow. I always show you guys the first half of the video, but I figure, you know, I haven't made a video in weeks. You guys have been supporting me the whole time. I've been seeing people still in the comments, salute to you. People still buying courses, salute to you guys. People DMing me, asking me for more content, you know what I mean? I just been sitting back watching everything, to be honest. I probably could have made a video every day because I be around. Yeah, so we touching that fader again. That's why I like Solina. It always cut through the mix. It's got such a good sound. Like when you hear some of this stuff, you had to be able to visualize where it's going to be at the end of the song. So you should be thinking placement. We got that's the EQ on there again on the drums. We're gonna run through back to fader 3. our Q-Link knob 3. You see we touch all the knobs. We touch them. Touch each one, get a feel for it. We run through, see how I feel. You can really dial it in. You gotta use your ears though. I wanna put a reverb on these drums, on the whole drum kit. So what we gonna do is go to Q-Link mode 1, turn the mix way down. I'm talking like 2-3%. You probably can't even see it. It's like at 6%, 5%, 3%. Then we can turn the time up real low and get a good feel. Now we fill up some of that cleanliness that the MPC gives. You know, you can bring some dirt and fullness into it. Our 808 gonna be tapped in. You know, we could definitely get it a lot better, but we just trying to get it at a good volume. So if we was to go to the studio or go somewhere or just make a quick 2-track, that they get the gist of the idea, and that we also have something kind of imprinted in our mind. We ran through the steps, so then once we get to the part of mixing the stems, we could recreate, because we know we had, I had an EQ on the drums, I had reverb on the drums, I had an EQ on the sample. You know, we had the channel strip, and I messed with the compressor on there. You know what I mean? Like all these different things, you can kind of remember what you got. I think I want to put a granulator on that sound in the back. I put an EQ on the 808 because we playing it through sub factory. And what I'm going to do, you know, I had knob 3, our Q-Link spot 3, but what I'm going to do is turn the highs down a lot and the mid highs, so that'll carve out some of that upper bass that we feeling and kind of give us some of that low end. And now I'm still trying to duck side chaining. So that's part of all of how this goes, is we trying to still duck side chaining, which we can carve it in and dial it in with the EQ. So now I'm in Q-Link 1, and we messing with the frequency of where we are turning it up in the EQ. So I'm aiming it at about 120, where I had the kick at 80. You get what I'm saying? So we letting all that in. It kind of muddies when the kick comes on, but that's cool, because as we touch the fader and bring that volume down, we starting to carve it into the space that we wanted it to be in, and we haven't used compression yet. So now I'm going to go on the master. I'm going to go add the EQ on there too. I just do it by feel. So like right now, there's a lot of different things that I was hearing with this, because that specific stem, you know, the stems on the MPC, people complain about them a lot, but you could get a lot done with them if you work them. So right now I'm in Q-Link 1, messing with the frequencies over the master. You know, now we messing with the gain, so we're gonna turn up the highs, turn up the mids, turn down the mid highs, turn down the mids, and then, you know, add some bass. We're gonna go back, touch our faders again. You know what I mean? We're probably gonna have to go through and touch faders on the actual drums at the root. So we do that from track edit. I want to put that granulator on here. I want that thing to fill up some more space. I kind of want it to, it sounds like a vocoder, even though it is it's called the other stem, or the instrument stem of Let's Get Blown from Snoop and Pharrell. That's what that sample is that you're hearing in the back. say with the stems, you gotta do songs that you normally wouldn't do, bro. You know what I mean? You gotta do songs that just pull something out of the hat. You never know what it's gonna sound like when you get to that part of the beat where you get to, once it's stemmed out, chopped up. I'm gonna turn on the reverse too. You never know what you're gonna get when you're doing that. You get what I'm saying? So it's definitely worth. Let's throw the MPC 60 vintage effect on there. Yeah, it's definitely worth touching and just checking out. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, comment. Make sure you hit that notification bell. Make sure you follow me, 365 O.T.G on Twitter. Right now I'm turning down. We're going back, touching the drum kit. We're going to touch the faders one more time, turn it down at the root. Make sure you check out the master classes, over 4 hours, 15 plus gigs of expansions and different things that I made from Machine on to my own expansions. There's a couple of them. You know, over 4 hours of videos collected from all the videos I've done on YouTube in one place, and lifetime updates. That's the way you could support, or you could be a member of the channel, and you know, we got new things coming. But salute to you. Thanks for watching. That's my workflow. Hope you like it.